Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dream Team Tonic podcast. My name is Scott, and for this episode, we're joined by usual hosts, Tony. How you getting on, mate?
All right, mate. You?
Yeah, not bad. Ready for the cup? Ready for the cup draw?
That's it, mate. Ready for it.
We've got Ben. How you doing, mate?
Not too bad, mate. You okay?
Good stuff. Yeah, not too bad. Ben, you saw each other yesterday.
I know.
Yeah, didn't it? After that live stream.
So I could not be away. Still drinking.
And we've got with us special guest Matt Wally, popular member of our Patreon Discord community, and writes smashing articles. How you doing, mate?
Evening all. Yeah, really good, Scott. Thank you. Been an interesting weekend, Dream Team wise, but yeah, glad to be back.
Who are you hoping to join in the cup? You got your eyes on someone?
No, I'll think about that. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you before the draw.
Come back to us with a fighting talk. If you, we're currently streaming this live on YouTube to our Patreon community. So if you're interested in becoming a Patreon member, there'll be a link in the description below. We've got Discord community, exclusive articles, mini leagues, and like this Patreon Cup we're about to draw later on in the episode. You get early access to the pods and more. I want to shout out the new signups. So I can't remember if we shouted out Jack Miles in the last episode. So if we did, Jack Miles, you're getting another shout out. Alexandru and Michael Wilkinson. Cheers for signing up, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your support. We're going to start off with the top point scorers from this game week so far. Obviously, we're still getting started. But Tony, anyone that's standing out to you there?
Yeah, my mate Foden.
He's on fire, isn't he?
Oh God, he is. Yeah, Haaland's 5 goals in midweek put me off him this week to captain. I wish I'd have done it there, but yeah, should have just gone with my gut. But so far, so good for Foden. Yeah, looking good there.
Big one for clean sheets. I'm seeing like that big run of 10s. A lot of that was clean sheets, I think, wasn't it, this weekend? Finally, we got some, but all at the same time. Got many of your players up there, Matt?
Thankfully, Foden. Not many others. Missing Watkins. Alvarez would have been nice to have. I know a few still have Alvarez. But yeah, there's a lot up there that people have got off, to be fair. I mean, Jackson scores. Jackson gets points is a shocker. So yeah, Son's back, but obviously not particularly useful for Dream Team. But I'm a bit annoyed, as I'll go into later, as I don't have Watkins, and that's a bit of a where I've gone over the last couple of weeks has stitched me right up.
Yeah, he's one that's been punishing me all season, so I got him straight back in. That Alvarez one, that's a bit of a trick because it's not the main man Alvarez, that's West Ham Alvarez.
It's
dropping a 16-pointer.
You're absolutely right, because Alvarez came on late, didn't he, this afternoon? And the game didn't do a huge amount. So you're right. That is a possible option for the next few weeks with West Ham's heavy fixtures. But yeah.
What about you, Ben? Any stand out for you?
Pardon? Anybody stand out? Well, yeah.
I see your man Bradley. Your man Bradley's there.
Yeah, Bradley. I brought him in this week. Happy days. 10 points. I was laughing when I seen Foden score 2 goals because everyone that went Foden last week bottled it this week and didn't go Foden again because of Haaland scoring 5 goals. I was thinking, typical, innit? Because Haaland could score a hat-trick in midweek though, and then he'd be probably overturn that. Like last week, Foden was highest goal scorer, highest point scorer until the midweek game.
Yeah,
at City. So yeah,
Rodri grabbing 2 assists as well.
Rodri,
You still-
he's
Hey,
in my
Rodri, get
team
rid.
as well. Yeah,
Nice.
9 points. Happy days.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see. You're flying, aren't you, this week? So we'll see your team a bit later.
Yeah, it's
Trying
about time I had a good week.
Trying to sneak yourself to the top of the tables. Before we go on to the top 1K ownership, just to shout out some of the guys joining us in the chat. We've got Andy Barnett, we've got Graham, good evening. We've got Nathan Wisby, welcome, mate. Charlie Choyne, obviously Matt Wooley, who's in the chat and he's here. Gaz Paul, Philip Harrison, and Baz Bestos. So, evening to all you guys. Top 1K ownership. Foden, everyone's got him. Haaland, everyone's got him. And everyone but Matt's got Watkins. It looks like. Any standout changes you've noticed there, guys?
Look at that, though. For Conor Bradley, this young lad who's just snuck in at Liverpool
26.
out of nowhere, just through Trent's injury, and he's doing so well. 3.5 million now. He's no longer really a cheapie, so to speak. 26.5%, massive. Higher owned than Robertson. On the live stream, we were saying, get Bradley in. Got a clean sheet. How Robertson snuck a clean sheet, Scott? How was that?
Yeah, the less said about that, the better. We'll keep that under the radar. I've seen people
We're
already
going to make a big deal of that.
No, I'm joking. I tweeted about it even though I've got him. Do you know what? I don't know if I brought it up on the screen here, but I guess FF Stuff uses the data that Dream Team obviously use. I guess it comes straight from their site. But actually, on his match center on FF Stuff, Mike, on his match center, it's got Robertson coming off in the 60th. I mean, I was watching the game and he definitely came off before the 60th. But everywhere was saying that Nunes came on in the 60th and Robertson came off in the 59th. But Dream Team or the match center here has got it as he came off in the 60th.
But it gets really complicated depending where you read it, because the 60th minute is between when the clock says 59 and 60. If you're literally going for the 60th minute of the match, whereas obviously it's that cut off at the 60. And I've seen what you've seen, Scott, as well, which is he came off before 60 and Nunes came on after, and it's a real kind of pickle.
Am I right in saying he didn't get the clean sheet in FPL?
No, he didn't get it on FPL, but he's been given it on Sky.
Well, he's got it on Sky, has he?
Yeah, Sky's given it. Sky didn't give it to him. Now they've given it to him. They changed it.
Right.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
it's not biggie, is it? It's not biggie.
Let us know in the chat if you think it's corruption.
Yeah, as far as I know, if they always round it up to the next minute. So if it's 59 minutes and 10 seconds, they always round it up to the next minute. Because if you score a goal in the first few seconds, it always gets rounded up to 1 minute. Yeah, so that's as far as I know.
I mean, I think if Liverpool had conceded, and I think there'd been a little bit of uproar that Robertson had kept his clean sheet, and VVD, Bradley, and the likes had lost them. I'd like to have seen that, but yeah, it is what it is, isn't it?
I'll take it. He's in my team. Are we all Robertson? Tony, you got him?
No, I'm not.
Matt?
I could feel really aggrieved about it.
No, I brought in Bradley instead in the end this week.
Yeah, good shout.
Me and you, mate, I got him, Scott.
Yeah, you got the full house, haven't you? Now you're bringing back the block.
I got 3 at the back, and I'm bringing 4 in next week. I think.
Oh
yeah,
going for it.
All aboard. Ollie Watkins, most transferred in by the top 1K, 73.8%. Obviously, Matt, you didn't do it, but Tony and Ben, did you both get him?
Yeah, got him in. Luckily,
Either of you get Bowen?
No. It was close, but I went for Watkins because of the Luton fixture.
Yeah, I mean, I was tempted by the 12th man with Bowen, but the news at Solanke during that live stream, Solanke's starting, even though it was the day before, it came through. So I was thinking, I'll hold out for my Solanke plan.
That's the Solanke in Gameweek 27. Yeah, you're gonna bring him in as 12th man.
Yeah, looking at the Sheffield United and Luton fixtures, is it for Bournemouth?
Yeah.
I was just going to shout out Charlie Coyne. He said the exact same happened with Conser earlier in the season, and he didn't get the clean sheet. But it's the last time he'll say it.
I mean, just the other thing on those top 1K.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Top transfers in is Kevin De Bruyne has come in to 5.4% of size, and he was right up there in the ownership as well. And he'll probably be going back out this week for a few, I would imagine. Not a stellar week so far, although obviously Copenhagen could change everything. And that single next week. So he could be straight back out for a few.
Yeah, I think we've got one of our questions. Is what we'll do with KDB this week. So we'll come on to him in a bit, but he's always got 4 assists in his locker, hasn't he? Captains, there's not much more to say, is there? It just keeps creeping up.
Look at that. Only 4 choices this week. That's crazy.
If you're one of the top 1K that did go elsewhere, drop a comment below the video. But what is that? That is 1 Bowen, 1 Foden, and 9 Watkins, isn't it?
Yep.
I've got my maths right there.
Yep.
Well, shout out to the 1 Foden in the house. 27 fixtures. What are you targeting, Ben?
27.
I've got
I think
doubles up on the screen.
I think I'm gonna get another Liverpool one at the back, and possibly, finally, going to get Saka back in.
Got to have him for this.
And to make it worthwhile, I'm going to captain him. I think so that's classed as a four games, isn't it? Because it's double, so making it worthwhile. So he's blanking the week after, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I'll have him for a 4, if you know what I mean. To say someone's 2 or 3, because you say if I bring Bowen in, I'm not going to captain Bowen, and then he's got 2 this week and 1 on 28, so it's only 3. But if I get Saka and captain him, then it's classed as a 4 because it's double 2 games. But I want Saka for the future, so I probably won't transfer him out. Just keep him for 28.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask you. Would you still keep him in the blank?
Yeah, I think I would, unless there's literally nothing wrong with my team that week, got no injuries, then I probably could do the what do you call it? I forgot what you call it now. You jump on and off, but I don't want to do that because I know what'll happen. I'll take him out again, and I'll get 2 more injuries.
Yeah.
So far, so good this week. I haven't got any injuries.
What about you, Matt? You playing the fixtures, Matt?
Playing the fixtures a bit and sorting out the mess I put myself in. So I think Watkins has probably got to come in. No reason not to. Spurs at home, they could lose and still score 3, frankly, against Spurs at home. Ajax away, the 2 Ajax fixtures I think will be decent. So I've got to get Watkins in. If I don't get him in, I'm going to be punished if he does kick, given his ownership. So he's got to come back in. And I think for me, I'm also looking at West Ham's fixtures. So I've got 2 Liverpool defenders. Not sure about getting another one in. I'm looking at the upside on the attackers. So West Ham and Villa for me.
Yeah, I'm hoping Bowen stays quiet this midweek. With not bringing him in, and I just fancy the 27 with him. Burnley, it's a good fixture. Could have a hatful there. Obviously, Watkins already in. I just looking towards that 28. with the Arsenal blank and the Brighton blank, I've got Gross and Van Heck in at the minute. And I just feel that I'm going to have to make this tricky decision where I'm possibly going to have to... I'll probably take out Alvarez out of my team and one of the Brighton lads ahead of a double, which is just pre-planning because if I do have injuries elsewhere, and then I've got a blank for Arsenal, which is Saka, and a blank for Brighton, which would be two players. That's 3 blanks there, a couple of injuries, and all of a sudden I'm playing with 6 or 7 in 28. So that's definitely not what I want. So yeah, just forward planning towards that.
I was actually going to ask that. I'll put that in our sort of talking points at the end, but I guess it's probably the best time to sort of bump it up now. Is what we were sort of thinking of doing for the blanks. Obviously, Ben said that he's going to try and keep Saka through the blanks. Ben, are you on Gross as well?
Yeah. So he'll have to go.
Is it just Saka and Gross that have got blanks for you?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, I hadn't thought about the Brighton side of things, and now I'm starting to think maybe I need to get Gross out, which doesn't seem to make sense. But maybe keeping Saka could be a way to sort of go against it. What about you, Matt?
Quickly, I think it all depends how this Europa League game goes. Because if Brighton gets spanked in that first game, then it's definitely a jump off because they won't have the extra fixtures coming up in Gameweek 30. So, yeah, you probably could hold through, but like it's only a single game week in 28. So, like, you're only going to miss out on one match if you did hold him. That's why I'm thinking about holding Saka when I get him.
Yeah, I guess if you've got Saka and he's playing twice, in theory, you could just treat that as 2 singles. Would you keep him if he had 2 singles? You probably would, wouldn't you? Still.
Yeah, definitely.
I was just going to bring up Charlie's comment in the chat. He's saying he's not checked, but he thought Watkins got rested for the Europa games at the start of the season. But surely he's not going to get rested for knockouts, is he?
No.
No.
Emery takes this serious, doesn't he?
I wouldn't like
Emery's
to.
the king of the Europa League, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's won it enough times. Especially this is starting to get to the business end of the season now, so they won't be resting players. They can win this competition. They're the favourites, aren't they? So yeah.
Any interest in Bournemouth and Luton? I heard the 12th man Solanke mentioned, but outside of that, maybe, or even just bringing him in normally. What do you reckon, Matt?
Bournemouth, I don't really have the luxury to bring him in, so I may be using 12th man on Solanke, but I think a couple of Bournemouth players who I'd have some interest in, Solanke being one. Then I think in terms of the doubles, I'm got to think about getting rid of at least one of my Arsenal and Brighton players. Again, also it's Saka and Gross, so I think Gross is out next week, but which is really hard because look at some of the reliability in pens, so it's a bit tricky over the next couple of weeks where you've got not many transfers to play with.
Yeah, I'm starting to think what to do about that Arsenal double of Brentford home and Porto home. Looks so nice to target the defenders, but I just can't bring myself to really bring them in if they're going to have to come out again. It's tough. And
presumably you are going to have to play your full team against Porto, given the state that tie is in.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. If you're enjoying it so far, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Get early access to the pod, these live streams, Discord community, and articles, which we've got Matt, one of our article writers, with us. Did you want to give us a quick lowdown on your Max Captain article that you've got out for our Patreon members at the moment?
Yeah, I'll give you a bit of a rundown on the Fab Four, yourselves plus James, and how you've got on using your Max Captain this season so far. When might be the optimal time to use it? Also, Fergie, who used it better than so far than all the people who kind of semi-regularly appear on the pod. I'm yet to play it. I'll be honest, and I will say it's the chip that I don't think is going to change your season necessarily. So it's not necessarily the one worth planning a long time out for. But definitely some gain to be made potentially. And this week, as we might talk on later, could be the week to use it.
Nice, yeah. That was a good read, that one. That was one that I sort of viewed as an insurance policy almost, that max captain, because it saved me from making a bad decision rather than actually getting it right. So one last thing. Bit of merch as well over on footyfits.co.uk. We'll be able to link it underneath this video now that we've figured out how to actually do it. But you got your great hoodies, your mugs, and is it a tumbler? I always forget this one.
Stainless steel tumbler keeps your hot drinks hot and your cold drinks cold.
Flask.
If you want to support the channel with a bit of the merch, there'll be a link below for that as well. Right, listener questions. DT Phillip. As always, the question every week: best captain picks for game week 27. But I've got a feeling it might not be Haaland this week. So Tony, do you want to start it?
Yeah, I like it this week because it's going to be differential, isn't it? It's going to be a difference. I like Saka. Home Brentford, home Porto. 90 minutes both games. I think he'll do a bit of damage. So Saka's my first choice. I like Watkins as well. Home Spurs, home Ajax. Obviously, depending on how first game goes. But anybody that plays Spurs, it's so good to watch Spurs this year, by the way. It's so nice to watch an attacking Spurs side for a change. Number 1, Saka. Number 2, Watkins. I think that wraps it up for me. I think they're the choices.
Not Solanke.
Solanke, 12th man.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't bring him in. So I won't bring him in, so I can't captain him. But he's a great... Anybody who's got 12th man, we've said the last few weeks, Solanke, he's looking good. I don't like the little patch on his knee that he's playing around with, and it gives me vibes of like when you play your chip and you don't play. I don't like it, but
yeah, I didn't catch the game today, but I was listening. I was doing a U-Mat. I was out on a walk listening to the Bournemouth game. Radio 5 Live.
How's the Bristol today?
Walking the dog, and they were saying he didn't really seem like he was moving as well as usual and was a bit quiet.
No, and in the post-match press conference, Irola said he was kind of, it was a last-minute call. Apologies, as my voice starts to go. A last-minute call, and he's not back to full fitness, but good enough to play today. So hopefully every match onwards and upwards.
Yeah, just say anybody that's thinking the Bournemouth for them 2 games. I did watch the game. Semenyo looked lively. Got a yellow card. Got a goal. Justin Cliver looked really good. Really, really good. Solanke was quiet. So, yeah. To be fair, Burnley had a hell of a lot of the ball. He did concentrate quite a lot on some counter-attacks, Bournemouth, and put Burnley to bed late on. But yeah, Semenyo played well. Justin Cliver played well. Solanke were quiet.
What are you thinking, Ben, on the captaincy?
Obviously, like it reminds me a little bit of when we brought in Elise, and he had that blank the week after, but he had a double game week the week before, and I held Elise through that. I think the only reason I had to hold him though is because I had injuries, so I had to hold him. But I think Saka's a good one. Like I say, it's like a quadruple the points in it. There's 2 games doubled, and then I like Bowen after that. 2 home games. Most teams have home games this week, which is good.
Yeah.
Double home week. So we've got double home games for Aston Villa, Liverpool, Arsenal, West Ham, and Bournemouth if you want to go there. I'm not too keen on Solanke, just because of today, really. Obviously, we've got another week until the Sheffield United game, but yeah, if he can't score against Burnley, and if he's carrying an injury, then yeah, it's a bit dodgy. I think if we had 12 man, I'd save it for an elite player.
What about you, Matt, on the old captaincy?
I mean, I'll come back to 12th man later on Solanke because I'm definitely thinking about that. And Sheffield United at home and Luton at home part of the reason I'm thinking about it. But the list I'd written: Saka, Watkins, as you say, double home for him. Bowen, Burnley, and Freiburg. Even Gross, who might be disappearing out of my side pretty soon. Forest and Roma at home. Even if Salah's back, he might have City at home in the first match, but big players, big games.
Yeah.
Goals. Yep. I wouldn't do it. First match back, he'll have limited minutes, but there's an argument. So for me, Saka is the player I circled first of all, and I think I'm staying there.
Yeah, Saka was the first one that I put down. I just like him that even when he blanks, when you look through the like Saka points, the games where he doesn't score an assist, he still somehow manages to end up on like a 5.
Yeah.
Like, go back to the Crystal Palace game where he basically blanked. He still got a bonus point. Obviously, the 2 points for playing, a big chance, 2 tackles. I feel like someone like Watkins, it's goals or nothing, or assists or nothing. Whereas like Saka, you still might get 1 bonus, 3 bonus tackles.
Yeah.
So like very worst case, there's still points there. All the other I'd named the same ones as you: Watkins, Bowen, Solanke. Salah I put down, but again, like you're not going to risk your captain if you don't know for certain that he's going to play. I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe we see him in midweek, but it feels too risky. Question number 2 from DT Philip was: would you bring Arsenal players in for game week 27 with Arsenal having a blank in 28? We sort of covered it, but
yeah. Just like I said, if you're going to captain the player, then I think it's worth it. But if you're not, then I wouldn't bring in any Arsenal players unless you're going to captain them.
So probably if you haven't got Saka already, you would do it.
Yeah.
I guess we probably are all in agreement on. Are we all in agreement on the Saka? If you hadn't got him, you'd bring him in.
Yeah, I think you've got to.
But
yeah, even if you had a few Brighton players who you needed to get rid of a couple of them, I'd probably still bring in Saka and worry about the damage later.
What's your thoughts if we spin it to defence? Do any of us have Arsenal defence?
I don't, but I don't mind. I don't mind Arsenal defence for that week. It obviously depends because obviously got these blanks that are coming up, and you're trying to work your ways around all this. But if you take in consideration, so Arsenal are going to have a double this week, and then they're gonna blank. But then City, say you could be sat there with a City player like Walker. He's going to play Liverpool next week, 27, and then in game week 28, he's going to play Newcastle, whether he plays or not. So he's only getting 2 games. It's if he gets the 2 games, say Walker, you'd rather have Gabriel, Brentford, Porto, home games than Kyle Walker, Liverpool, Newcastle, wouldn't you?
You're definitely getting 2 out of your Arsenal, definitely, aren't you?
That is a given at the minute.
Yeah, and you're not definitely getting 2 out of your Liverpool players because there could be some rotation with Tsimikas coming in for, say, Robertson or even flipping wings and Bradley. But I think the Liverpool defenders seem to have a few more routes to points at the moment. I
Yeah.
prefer going there than Gabriel or Saliba in Dream Team. I think Zinchenko I've always liked him across all formats. Obviously, he'll be back soon, but not worth going near right now. And definitely always need to see where he's playing and how he's playing. But yeah, probably not for me this week, I'd say.
What about you, Ben? You're probably not going to bring an Arsenal defender?
I'm probably not going to bring an Arsenal defender in, but if you wanted to go differential, I think it could be a good idea because it's got 2 home games with Brentford and Porto. Okay, they're blank, but Man City's got Newcastle and Liverpool's got Man United, for example, in that Gameweek 28 single, which is tough games. Might be rotation because it's FA Cup as well. And then after that, Arsenal pretty much, if they get through, obviously, we've got to see if they get through. If they get through, then in Game Week 30, they've got another double. And Game Week 31, they've got another double as well. So, yeah, it could be decent bringing Arsenal players in, but they've just got to beat Porto by 2 goals, haven't they?
Yeah, I think we will do it. I think
Yeah,
we will do it.
I think we will.
Yeah, I do.
Saliba and Gabriel both at 16% each. Top 1K ownership.
I think if you're chasing, I think it could be a good idea to do it. Instead of going with the like Man City defenders.
Best replacements for Trippier and Dubravka. Has anyone got both?
Kelleher. That's what we were saying on the live pod, weren't it? You were massive, weren't you? I mean, if you go for that, it's Kelleher and Bradley. That's probably what we were screaming all Saturday. So
that was a popular question.
Yeah.
Dubravka did keep the clean sheet, didn't he? But Trippier got injured before he could get it.
Yeah, I got it the right way round in the end because I had Dubravka and Trippier, and I decided to sell Trippier and keep Dubravka. So I got the clean sheet from Dubravka. Yeah, Kelleher got 8 points at the weekend. I think, a Liverpool defender and Kelleher are the ones. I don't mind really. Van Dijk's probably the most nailed. Bradley's nailed until Trent comes back, which is after Game 28. So depends. I mean, I like Van Dijk because he just nailed. Could get goals from set piece or whatever.
I noticed well, we saw the lineups, didn't we, when we were doing that live stream? But they had was it Gomez sort of at CDM, didn't they?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's probably due to the amount of injuries they've got, but it did make me wonder a little bit. Maybe could they be looking at maybe having Bradley as right back, and then Trent could maybe just play that midfield role and have Bradley alongside him once they're both back, because he has been that good, hasn't he?
Yeah. I also midweek Liverpool played Bradley midfield, didn't they?
Yeah, right wing.
Yeah, so he was tucking inside. So it'd be interesting to see what they do when Trent's back.
You got any replacements for Trippier and Dubravka, Matt?
Well, on Dubravka to start, I'm just querying at what point does Kelleher become a hold and a not buy? Because Alisson will come back at some point, potentially after the international break. If he came back first match after the international break, he's got 2 game weeks left. But I haven't heard enough to say that he will be back then. But just a bit of a warning that if you brought Kelleher in now, you'd be looking at perhaps shipping him back out in the not too distant future. Same's true with Bradley, who I've brought in. And with Robertson, you've got rotation risks, I guess, with Tonic. But I think Liverpool is where it's at. Haven't really looked far away from that. You can look at West Ham and Villa, but they're just not as good at defence. They concede in the Premier League. They've conceded over 40 goals. Liverpool are about 27 so far. So I'm looking at Liverpool still.
Yeah,
Regarding Callagher, didn't we hear at the weekend that Alisson's injury is quite bad, so he could be out
Yeah.
for quite a long time?
That's what I were hearing.
Okay,
Yeah.
if that's the case, then Callagher, yeah, 100%.
I guess even if Alisson does come back early and surprises us like I think he did last time, I guess at least you're not going to be completely out because he will still get Europe if it does fall in the European week. So you might have a little bit of leeway if Alisson does come back.
Yeah.
We've got a question from Charlie Choin, who's in the chat. He says, City have a single. So is anybody moving on their City players this week?
Yes, Alvarez.
Yeah. I mean, he's earmarked by everyone, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's three of us, isn't it? With Alvarez that want him out.
Yeah, that's one transfer.
Well, we take the assist today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I wonder if he plays midweek.
I don't think he'll play. I don't think he'll play midweek.
I think he starts. Me?
Do you?
I think he's got to start.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. He's not fancying him, is he? But Doku's been useless last few. So they did
Since I
move
talked
Foden
him
out
up to be
wide.
the best player in the world, all of a sudden he's gone backwards. I mean, he still looks dangerous. He's just not doing very good on the matrix at the minute. But yeah,
Apart from Alvarez, any City making way? You concerned about your City defence? If you've got any?
Yes. So I've got Diaz in at the moment, and I'm concerned just because of fixtures. So given next week is just a single Liverpool away, then it's, albeit at home, Newcastle and Arsenal and Villa. They could all score. Diaz could miss a match even. So I'm definitely considering getting Diaz out. I've got 5 City in total. And do I really want almost half my side playing against Liverpool away in a single? Not really. So they are 2 players who are earmarked to take out. But having said that, Foden looks undroppable because he's probably fixture proof in the form he's in. Unbelievable. Haaland obviously could score 5 against Luton, but he could probably score 3 against any player as well. Rodri's one of the other 2. KDB is going for me. I've still got him in at the moment. I think his performance this week, he's not necessarily, in terms of the dream team scoring matrix, if he doesn't get assists and he doesn't get goals, then I think he's a bit lower risk. So I think he'll go next week to get something more exciting for next week as well.
Who put the cross right on Haaland's head and he headed it over from about 2 yards out earlier? Was that De Bruyne?
That was Foden.
it was Foden.
Yeah, it was a brilliant cross actually. I think I joked somewhere that it was overweighted, but I mean, no, it's just the perfect cross, wasn't it? That was.
He just needs to run into the ball.
Yeah.
Forget about kicking it. Just run into it.
I did wonder. I wondered if that was Kevin De Bruyne and maybe Haaland was at fault for ruining his points.
True. So it's kind of between his head and kind of his legs, wasn't it? So he should have chested it. He actually said exactly what you said, Tony. Run straight into it.
The thing is for De Bruyne, it's like it's a tricky game today because United just literally sat back. They put 10 men in that area. It was to be able to be fair to United. They defended quite well. They defended the box quite well. But yeah, for a person like De Bruyne to get any points out of that game was, it's not going to happen often unless you're picking out them assists or goals. But that's a one-off. That for me, De Bruyne fit and starting is scary. As we've seen midweek with the Haaland 5-goal haul. But yeah, just touching on your point, Matt, about Foden being undroppable. Just wait until Southgate gets him in Euros, mate.
Oh,
Yeah, he'll be playing Sterling ahead of him, don't you worry.
Sterling, Rashford. Well, yeah. Which is nonetheless two brilliant players. But yeah, Foden's got to be in that England side, hasn't he?
you saw Southgate's eyes light up though when Rashford scored that one today.
Oh, I thought, I can put my mate back in.
Here we go.
He did that, and then he did a couple of things where you think, "Oh my god, how did you do that?" Like he was like through on goal, and all he had to do was nod the ball forward to run onto it, and he nodded it into the ground, lost the ball, and then there was a cross come in, and all he had to do was put his foot through it, and he totally missed it. Like, and then he scores that wonder goal. So like, what?
No, but then he was at fault for the first goal, wasn't he? Because he went down. He went down so easy. So rather than run through, he's obviously thought Walker's on his case. He thought, I'm not beating him in a foot race. And he's felt a little touch. He's gone down. And from that, he went and equalised.
I'm just laughing I'm laughing at
As a Scotchman, of course you would. Of course you would.
So, he says that he would pick Sterling over Foden 100%. That's Baz Best, our Scottish correspondent.
I'm going to chuck this one in from Andy because I missed it. It was before we'd gone live. But he just said, and Andy Barnett says, "Good evening, guys. Hope you're all okay. Just a question I'm hoping to sneak in. Lots of us will be loaded up on City. We'll also have a sprinkling of Arsenal, Brighton, and possibly Bournemouth. I'm sure next week we'll be thinking of taking out a couple of City, but that leaves us light the week after with the blanks. So how would we choose to navigate the next couple of weeks of transfers with this in mind? We've kind of touched on it, haven't we? But we were sort of on it now with this City question.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on selling any City players. Like, it's only a single. At least it's not a blank in a double game week. And they're just so explosive, the City players, that in a single game week they could go off. Look at me. I sold Saka, and he's an explosive player, and he can go off in a single game week. Wait till tomorrow when he plays Sheffield United. Maybe like fringe players like Alvarez you can sell for someone who's going to definitely play 2 games a week. Maybe a defender, but I wouldn't go mad selling Foden or De Bruyne for 1 game week and then trying to buy them back. Just leave them in there. They're going to play lots of games.
Yeah.
Very explosive.
I've got double up in defence. I've got Ake and Ederson at the minute. I had this down for a different question later on, but I'll come to it now because it sort of fits in. But City have got some tough games coming up, but they've got like 3 home matches in a row, I think it is, after this Liverpool game. I think they've got Newcastle, Arsenal and Aston Villa all at home. So 3 home matches in a row. And I was trying to think back what they sort of perform like in these big games. Because just because it's Arsenal, Villa, Newcastle, you don't necessarily think, oh, they're going to concede a load of goals. And I was just looking back, and like last season, they kept clean sheets against like Newcastle, Spurs, and then when it came to and Arsenal as well in the FA Cup. And then do you remember that run they went on when it come to the Champions League? They kept clean sheets against Bayern Munich at home, Madrid at home, and Inter Milan in the final. Even though the fixtures are a little bit tough, I think I might still keep them in and hope that they can do an all right job in those big games.
Yeah, I think if you've got them in, just keep them, because there's going to be lots of games for the Man City players, and they won't rotate as much when they play against the better teams.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to stick with what I've got. Anything to add? Anyone?
No, just useful to think of my own theory of getting rid of a couple this week, actually. I think you've convinced me to keep De Bruyne, both of you, all 3 of you. I'm still tempted to get rid of Diaz. I think there are better options in defence, probably more explosive options going forward who've got more routes to points. But it's probably a bit of a luxury transfer. And I'm just about okay in terms of my Brighton and Arsenal coverage, in that I can navigate that. So unless I get an injury, another need to do something with a burning flame, I will probably still get rid of Diaz.
Yeah, that makes sense because there are, like we said, Bradley, Diaz. You're sort of hoping for clean sheets, aren't you? The likes of Bradley, tackles, attacking returns. You're not depending just on those clean sheets. While we're going all in on City, Gaz in the chat. Alvarez didn't start any Champions League knockout games last season, even when City was 7-0 up from the first leg against Leipzig. So I think we'll
touched on that a few pods back, didn't I? We're all about. I was trying to track the minutes that Alvarez played.
Yeah.
In the Champions League games, and it was minimum. He's going to go on
here. Nathan Wisby might change his mind after saying that, but he's saying best replacements for Kyle Walker, game week 27. Tony?
Liverpool, you could go Bradley. Bradley, Robertson, Van Dijk, whichever one you haven't got of them. They're doubling all the way through. They're not missing out any games. Liverpool.
Outside of Liverpool? Or Ben?
I don't mind going down the Arsenal route. Now looking into it a bit more, I think if Arsenal beat Porto, obviously you're going to make the transfer before and hope that they beat Porto. Okay, it's 2 home games. You think they can get clean sheets. Like you say, they're nailed players. They're only going to miss 1 game compared to Man City and Liverpool. And it's a differential. Okay, Man City away, but then it's Luton at home in the game week 29. So they could recoup some points there if they do concede. And then, like you say, if they're in the next round of Champions League, it's 2 more double game weeks with Brighton away and Aston Villa at home. Yeah. So, I like that as a differential. Just suck it up, that 28 blank.
Best defence in the league.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For actual goals and expected goals.
Definitely not the best defence in the league, West Ham. But Emerson's not that far behind in terms of actual points, which I guess is probably the most important statistic in there. He's within 10 of Saliba and less than 20 behind Gabriel so far. And they've got a decent run of fixtures at West Ham, of course, including doubles coming up. So I wouldn't rule Emerson out. He's ticking up there on the yellow card count, which is the first time I think we're starting to look at that count towards 10. But he's on 7, so he's not quite that close yet. So bit of a differential if you want. Emerson's fine, I think, but I'm not going there yet.
I think I had Emerson a couple of years ago, and it just doesn't look right in my team. I think he was like 1.4 million or something. I just had him in as an enabler, but I think he has been good this year, though. Yeah,
and I think it's that next week where, frankly, loads of teams have got 2 glorious home games, but he's got Burnley and Freiburg at home, so that could be great. But
he's a tackle monster. 94 tackles, most of any defender.
Yeah, and the good thing about we're going to see how they get on in the first legs this week, aren't we? So we're going to have a bit more of it. We'll know a bit more to see who can bring in next week. Who's definitely going to go through? There might be a few goals up West Ham. By next week.
True.
We had Konsa come back this weekend, but like we mentioned, the defence for Villa hasn't really been great. He was getting bonus quite a lot, but didn't get any bonus points in the game against Luton at the weekend. So I think it's still a wait and see on Konsa. I think. Yeah, I'd stick. I think for me, I'm not going to look outside of Arsenal, City, Liverpool defence because those 3 seem clear at the moment, don't they?
Yeah.
Next question from Nathan. Is Solanke a hold? Is Solanke in and hold through his blank, or Solanke in for 1 week, then get him out, or pick a player the whole way through, like JWP, Kudus, Douglas Luiz, or any other player that doesn't blank in 28? If you're getting Solanke in, what would you do with him, basically? Excluding 12th man.
12th man. Oh, you could have given him 12th man, hadn't you?
I'm guessing he hasn't got it.
I mean, that's the thing, is that if you want to go Solanke route, you're going to have to then pop him in, pop him out kind of thing, rather than, and like you say, you put a West Ham player in, you can play all the way through, or a Villa player even, they're going to play all the way through.
I'm guessing you'd have to captain. You'd sort of want to have to captain him if you were going to bring him in. If you're 12th man in him, you can't captain him, can you? So
no, and I think that's the advantage of the 12th man, is that because obviously, you know, there's that blank in 28 coming up, so you're on and off. Yeah, would I bring Solanke in? No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. No. I won't bring Solanke in ahead of the likes of Bowen for 27, or if I didn't have Watkins for 27, even a Brighton player, Liverpool player, I won't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it, but if you do bring him in, I think you've got to hold him through, unless you've got no other fires to put out, because he's got Everton and Crystal Palace in Game 29 as a double, both at home as well. So he's got 4 home games in a row. He's got Sheffield United, Luton, then a blank, then Everton and Crystal Palace, and then Luton away. But there's loads of doubles in 30, so you probably.
And is his knee going to keep up with it?
What's that?
Is his knee going to keep up?
Yeah. I don't like it just because he's not like in the top team, but I can see like it's quite good. It's quite good for like a telegraph move or something, because you can bring them in and move them on. But with it being locked in of only 2 transfers a week, you can't make like 5 transfers and stuff like that. You can't, like jiggle. If you get an injury or something, you get stuck with him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whack him in and then move him on to a Liverpool, maybe.
What about Salah? I mean, if you plan to get Salah in on 28, let's say Salah's not fit this week. It's that old thing in some other formats where it's 1 transfer firms in this case rather than 2, because you're going to make the transfer to Salah anyway.
Yeah.
So you moved it on to Solanke to then go to Salah. So I think that's an option. Agreed, though, you're probably going to want Solanke back from somebody at some point as well. I like the 12th man. Nathan doesn't have the 12th man, so obviously not relevant to the question, but I quite like the 12th man. Sheffield United and Luton, put off a bit by the kind of hold it for a more quality player, and I quite like holding the chips right through to the end of the season. I think it really depends how far your backs are behind against the wall with transfers, though. So if you're making luxury moves this week, go for it.
Nathan's a daring one, though, isn't he? I can see him doing it. He likes to gamble on it.
Another thing as well is you've only got 3 strikers, and it's say like Salah is back in 27. You're going to want Haaland and Salah, aren't you? And then you're not going to take Watkins out if you've got Watkins. So it's tricky. Like 12th man, at least you can just bang him in and then he's gone the week after, because you don't have to transfer him out. It's just use your booster.
Yeah.
I think we've pretty much covered his question number 3. Do we think we should be getting rid of City defenders with their tough upcoming fixtures? That's the one that I had the previous clean sheets for, because they do seem to still do all right in some of these big games, especially now they've got all their defenders back available as well. They do love conceding.
Guardiola was on the bench, weren't he?
Yeah.
Guardiola and Akanji sat there waiting to take Ake's place, and yeah, that's getting messy.
Yeah, I don't think it's terrible to hold on to them. They are still a great side. Should we go on to Connor's question? Well, his first part was glad to see you back on the pod, Willie.
Hi, Connor. Nice to have that thought.
You can kick us off. Top 3 differentials, any position, to help us climb the top 1K.
So, in terms of, I don't think there will be differentials, but under certain circumstances, if there's a lot of doubt, they could be Salah and Solanke. But let's forget those two because they are some of the people we've talked about most on this pod. So, Douglas Luiz, he's 4% owned in the top 1K at the moment. He's on pens for Villa. Villa have got some, a lot of fixtures, not quite perfect fixtures, perhaps. Can't remember who it was, but I'll give credit in a second to the person who suggested James Ward-Prowse on another question, who is currently in 0% of the top 1K sides, I believe, and he's got, similarly a load of fixtures with West Ham coming up, that Burnley and Freiburg double, and he tended to play all the Europa League matches, I think, before Christmas, so he's a good shout. And I think I'm not the first to suggest this on this pod, but Kluivert from Bournemouth is a player who he's played. I mean, at face value, he's got 90 points and only 6 goals, but he's played pretty much half the amount of time that Solanke played for almost twice those points. And if he's in that side, and he looks great at the moment, if he's in that side, everything I've both heard with my earphones in whilst walking outside with the radio on, I've heard his name a lot. But also when seeing him on the actual TV a bit, he's looking pretty decent. So those are my suggestions.
Tony?
Yeah, really. Justin Kluivert's a player that excites me. I watched him a little bit at Roma as well, and I watched him today. He's settled into Premier League life pretty well. It's been slow because he's been at Bournemouth a little while, but he's looking to become that player that obviously his dad was quite. He's got a little bit about him, Justin Kluivert, and obviously the points are following him. For me, Semenyo, another of the attacking options from Bournemouth, very good player. Very good player. Likes a shot, likes to come in and shoot. So he's one who's on the radar as a differential, especially for the double Sheffield United, Luton. Attacking those Bournemouth players isn't going to do you too much harm. Núñez back for Liverpool. A lot of people have took him out. Might not have stuck with him. He looks good. In midfield, they're quite obvious, but there's still going to be differentials. There's still going to be people that pick your points up that are going to boost your rankings. Douglas Luiz, Villa. I think a lot of people just punted for Watkins. So I think Luiz could still do you well, being on penalties. Kudos at West Ham. Top player. Top player. He's someone that I love to watch play football. He's well up there. Loves the shot. Loves the dribble. Good on the matrix. Defense-wise, Gabriel for this double, we've seen how dangerous he is at set pieces. He scores pretty well. So yeah, Gabriel and Emerson. Weirdly, I never thought I'd be saying Emerson. I know Ben's had some run-ins with Emerson over the years. But yeah, he's doing all right. We're obviously continuing doubling now, hopefully, at the back of the European games. So he could be a good show as well.
I had I'm in agreement with both you on Douglas Luiz and Kudus, because I'd sort of put down that the first two that came to mind when we looked at going to Europa was Bowen, Watkins, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But maybe I thought maybe you could get a differential in there with going a double up, West Ham double up, Kudus, Bowen, or double up Watkins, Luiz. Because I doubt many people will go for both. So I did like that. Both got an assist at the weekend as well. I don't necessarily think 27's the week to do it because of the European teams and Arsenal doubling. But maybe in 28, 29, you could go maybe Son. It will be a big differential, but maybe Son if you wait till 28, because he'll play Fulham in game week 28, and then we'll have a double of Luton home, West Ham away. I think he hit the post, grabbed the goal at the weekend on pens as well. And I don't think anyone will be thinking of picking him. Obviously, I put it out there now on the pod, but I don't think anyone else will be thinking of picking him while European football's on. And then again, when it gets to 29, people might be looking at going part the bus or something, dropping a striker. If you're not going part the bus, you could have a decent striker there for a double game week that no one will think of. And similar with, I mean, this is Connor's question, but Isak as well. Again, not for 27, but he's got the hard cup game, obviously, against Man City in 28, but then he's got a double in 29. West Ham, Everton, both at home. Pens, penalty taker.
Isak struggled against Rora's defence, didn't
he? Did he?
Yeah.
Connor reckons he's as good as my man here.
Absolutely no chance. When did he come out with that, Tosh? I've not heard that. Connor.
He's a sports direct, Henry.
Well, yeah, you're right there, Ben. Absolutely no chance.
No, he reckons that's who he reminds him of.
No. No, I've not heard that, Tosh. Connor, Jesus Christ, how many have you had to drink when you said that?
How many strawberry daiquiris has he had?
Not having that.
Do you know, I heard Thierry Henry interviewed recently on TV, and he was asked, what would you do if you weren't a professional footballer? What job would you have? And his answer was amateur footballer. And it's just like, I mean, it just shows you everything you need to know about Henry. That's not Isak.
I thought he was going to say Sports Direct.
Yeah.
Ben, you got any differentials?
So you've covered loads there. I like the Tottenham shout with Fulham in 28 and then Luton, West Ham. Maddison was really good when he was playing before on the bonus points. I would imagine it'd be on set pieces as well. So I like that. Paqueta could be a good differential because he was on penalties before he got injured. And he's involved with everything for West Ham, so he could be good on the bonus. I like the Arsenal defence now. More I look at it, I think it'd be quite a good differential if we get Saliba or Gabriel. I know it's blanks in 28, but I think they'll beat Porto. And then it'll be, if you want to come from behind to catch up, you could go for an Arsenal couple of Arsenal defenders or a couple of Liverpool defenders. They're all quite low owned. So yeah, you pretty much covered it all, though.
I think Arsenal will keep back-to-back clean sheets in 27. Yeah. I do. I say it now. I really do.
Yeah, it looks good. But then City will be the next game after that.
Yeah,
it's
forget
like
about that.
Half and half, and it's City away followed by Luton home.
That's the thing. If it was just a City away single, you'd be like, oh, I don't know. But because it's Luton at home after, it's like it could be still a good game week.
I'll need to take a break, but I'll leave you with this one. Liverpool block. I think Ben's the guy to kick this one off. This is from This is from Solo Higgins. He's asking, what do we think of the Liverpool block? Ben's about near enough there, so I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's good. If you're definitely chasing as well, like me, I went Liverpool block. I'm not going City. I'm going to try something a bit different. And I think it's a bit easier to pick Liverpool defenders. I know Tsimikas is back, but I think Robertson's the number one left back in. He's going to get most games. Bradley's playing instead of Trent while Trent's injured. And I think when Trent comes back, I can see Bradley still featuring. Maybe Trent might play midfield. But I think Bradley's going to get minutes. He's been too good to just put back in the reserves. And Van Dijk is the main man in the defence. Konate, Gomez and Kwanzaa are probably share minutes. Konate's probably the most nailed out of them, but he doesn't play every game. But yeah, I like it. And Kelleher should be nailed for a little while with the news we got before Alisson being out. This injury looks a lot worse than it initially was. But he said it was bad last time, and he'd come back early, didn't he? Because I had Kelleher in my team before, and I had to sell him pretty much straight after I brought him in. But surely he ain't going to say that it's not that bad. I mean, he's not going to say it's bad and then bring him back, is he? So.
No, Ben, I think at the start of the pod you said you were bringing in potentially 4 Liverpool defenders.
Because I meant Kelleher as my fourth at the back, yeah.
It feels like we are all on 3 at the back at the moment and sticking with that in terms of defence, but unless we're parking the bus. I mean, I agree in terms of Liverpool that is exactly who I want to bring in. If I can, for my Diaz out, if I can make that move, I will be bringing in a Liverpool player. But yeah, no, 100% agreed. They're all looking loads of points from all of them, lots of minutes across 4 or 5 Liverpool defenders. So I'm agreed with that.
The thing is like we come to the Liverpool block, and usually, if you're one of the most expensive blocks, you'll be trying to put out on the pitch. But because of the likes of Kelleher, Bradley, Robertson obviously dropped in price anyway previously. It's actually quite a cheap Liverpool block that we're playing with as well. It's weird, but yeah, I mean it's becoming more and more obvious as weeks go on that Kelleher is a good option, Bradley's a great option, VVD is obviously grabbing a few goals, and then he's supplementing that with the returning Robertson, and all of a sudden you've got a very cheap block.
Yeah, I quite like it as well. I was going to ask, Ben's just dropped off there, but I was going to just ask what you thought of potentially getting onto Liverpool, and then do you think people might be going for them on this game week 29 part of the bus potentially?
Yeah, that's the lead up possibly, isn't it? I've not looked much into the part of the bus because I've already used mine, but I can see there's always a danger with this part of the bus, and this is why it's a dangerous ship. You're going to have to take out 2 attacking players to play this. Not so much clean sheet magnet, but you need your players to be able to get points from elsewhere. They've got to be able to get points from elsewhere. Game week 29, is it the best as regards to clean sheets? I don't think so, but it could be best get points elsewhere.
I see where
goals and other things.
But I see where Scott's potentially coming from in that Liverpool have got Brighton at home and Brighton are awful away. They're brilliant at home quite often and awful away. massive generalisation, but there we go. Sheffield United at home. I mean, that could be 2 clean sheets. That could be goals galore. That could be assists from the back. I mean, it's got the potential.
Yeah.
I hadn't looked at it until that very moment about 20 seconds ago, 40 seconds ago. You mentioned it, Scott, but that looks cracking.
Well, we'll talk about it while Ben's not here, because he's got his part of the bus, and us 3 have used it, haven't we? Here he comes.
Yeah, don't mention it now.
Ben, we were just talking on Liverpool, part of the bus.
Yeah, part of the bus, game week 33.
Us 3 have used it. What I was sort of thinking was, I think 29 will be popular. If everyone's already on 2 Liverpool, 1, 2, 3 Liverpool, however many, I don't reckon people are going to take their Liverpool out ahead of that double of Brighton home, Sheffield United home. Are you considering 29 with a full Monty of Liverpool?
Possibly. I'm not sure. That Sheffield United game in there is very appealing. So yeah, could do. I'll probably have Kelleher in goal. Obviously, won't count towards the part of the bus, but yeah, I'm on 3 defenders at the moment, and I can't see me moving off them unless I get an injury. So it's just getting another 2 in for that game week. If it falls nicely for me, I might do it.
Because I'm thinking, from someone that's used it, I dare not take them out, because it's like you lose double whammy then, don't you? If anyone that uses it plays it 29 and you haven't got 2 in your team, could be twice as bad. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I'm sure we'll come to it nearer the time. But yeah, just thinking about the defensive play on our side of things and what people might do attacking it. David 87. What's the better move for next week? Bradley in for Walker or Bowen in for Palmer? I found this hard. Who wants to go first?
Bradley in for Walker or Bowen in for Palmer.
They're both good moves.
Yeah, they're both the right moves. Choosing between them 2, it's like flip of a coin now. I don't like the City defence, so longer term. The thing is that Walker's going to get more games longer term than what Palmer is, obviously European. So, but essentially, I like Bradley over Walker, and obviously Bowen over Palmer now.
I think the one thing medium term to Chelsea and Palmer's fixtures, it might not be in Europe, but they are still in the FA Cup, so they've got Leicester at home. They've still got 2 unarranged Premier League matches, which is more than anyone else. Those will be late, so probably not worth worrying about too much. And I think they've got some good attacking fixtures fairly soon. So a certain team in the Championship, Leicester at home, then Burnley, then Manchester United, all at home across 28 and 29 are pretty enticing. And Palmer does tend to play those cup matches. So I think that's a reason potentially to hold Palmer. Bradley, I still think is drifting towards. I brought him in last week or the week before, but I think he's becoming a bit of a potential hold to wait for other news around Trent. Spit trip, that is a really toss of a coin question, I'd say. I'm pretty happy to sit on the fence on that one.
Yeah, looking at this initially, I was thinking, easy, just keep Walker and sell Palmer because they're not in Europe and that. But looking at the fixtures, it's only in they literally got the same amount of games up until game week 30. So short term, I'd say Palmer is a better hold because he's got Newcastle next week at home, Leicester at home, Burnley at home, and then Man United at home in the game week 29. And then they got Sheffield United away and Everton at home. So it's quite good fixtures. And Walker's not that exciting, really, is he? Like, if you want to gamble, Palmer could be more explosive.
Yeah, totally. That was my thinking as well.
Yeah.
I'd gone bring Bowen in for Palmer, but to be honest, I think you've convinced me. Your points are more convincing than mine for sure. I took Palmer out this week. So did you, didn't you, Ben?
Yeah.
Did you take him out?
Yeah.
He done all right. He done all right this week, didn't he? Again,
he did. I'm quite happy to have him out in terms of those options and what I've got, but I think on those two direct options, I was keeping Palmer.
I just noticed I've missed Graham's question to you, Matt.
So asking
Where's Wally?
Yeah, well, I was a bit of a Wally last week, so I massively preempted on a 50-50, bringing Nunes and Salah in, both of whom were effectively 50-50 to double. I thought I'd get them out of them, and both blanked. Massive hit to my rank, and a bit of a lesson there last week in not trying to maybe chase the upside too much. But I think the real Wally of this week, and I'll give you a clue as to who this might be. Gladiators ready! Mark Clattenburg. What an absolute Wally he's been. I mean, Forest were denied taking of a drop ball, which did ultimately end up in a tangentially probably causing Liverpool to score. But what an
shocking
going on. It was the wrong decision, full stop, 100%. But Mark Clattenburg came out after the match and he's being employed by Nottingham Forest to be their referee spokesman. What on earth are we doing now to having teams having former Premier League referees as their spokespeople? And I get it. We've had free kick coaches. We've had set piece coaches, which has worked in the last 20 years. Anya brought that in 2008, I think it was. But do we really want, after matches now, we're going to have Clattenburg complaining for one side. We're going to have Mike Dean coming out for another side. We're going to have Howard Webb then coming out for the other side. We're just going into something that we...
Royal Rumble!
That's my Wally of the week, Clattenburg.
I like it.
We've got a new feature, Wally of the Week.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Get your entries in then. Get your entries in for next week.
We'll have to get a poll up for Wally of the Week.
Thanks, Graham.
I'll come to you, Matt, again for this one because James McClure's question was, is anyone considering dropping KDB for this week? City only play once and it's against Liverpool. Plenty of other options like Bowen, Kudus, Gross, Louise, Bailey, who played twice. I think me, Tony and Ben weren't considering dropping KDB. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, don't do it.
So I definitely was considering dropping KDB. He's been the lowest scoring City asset of my players this week. Looking back on the history a bit further, I'm not sure because he does obviously create big chances. He had those 4 assists in the first 4 goals for Haaland against Luton. That's the one I've got to double back around after this podcast, to be honest. And I think I'll probably end up keeping him.
12 assists, 2 goals in 12 matches.
It's not bad, is it? What is his PPM like?
Oh, not worked it out.
No, nor have I. And I was kind of working on the assumption that might be lower, but to be frank,
he's expensive.
Yeah, you're right. The assists and the way he can plant that ball for Haaland just to generally bang it in the back of the net rather than boot it into the sky is it's pretty good.
All I would say is if it would be, it's not going to be Haaland or Foden, is it? If you were considering moving one on, I would say he's safely below those two now.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm just looking at this week. He only had 1 point, but he did have 5 ppm. So I mean, he's not far off. So yeah.
Anyone want to add anything on that one? Or move on?
Don't go Gary B.
All right. Well, on to our team updates real quick. If you've enjoyed it so far, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Keep an eye out for our live streams that we've been doing as well on Deadline. You can kick us off, Ben, with your team update because you've got a mammoth score there.
Yeah, 103 points this week. Dubravka clean sheet, 8 points. I've got triple Liverpool defence, Bradley 10, who came in this week, Robertson 9, and Van Dijk 7. Gross bench for the first time in a long time, but I think that's his only bench, and he's been rested for this big Roma game. 1 point. He did have 2 points, didn't he? But it's been
still almost got bonus.
Yeah,
took off him.
Yeah. I've got a triple Man City midfield of Rodri with 9 points, Foden with 20, and De Bruyne with 4. Alvarez, he's on the chopping block still, come off the bench, but got an assist, 3 points. Haaland, captain, 16 points. And Watkins, 16 points. He came in as well this week.
What does that do for your rank wise? Because you were having a tough time, weren't you? But that's got to put a big dent in it, surely. 100.
I'm still in the 4K region. What was I last week? About 5K. Yeah, so I'm 4.2 now. So yeah, getting up there, but it just seems to be so hard to make any rank rises. Yeah. I think I've gained about 20 points this week on most people. So yeah, but I need to do that every week, and it's very hard to do that. So I'm hoping to get in the top 1K, but that's poor for me, really. Top 1K. I'm usually near the top 100. So, well, but this is a new game, isn't it? So it's a bit totally different. Yeah. I've learned a lot about this new game this season, and I think I'm ready to attack it next year. Totally different. Totally different way of looking at it now.
Hopefully they don't change it too much after we all feel like we've learned
it. Could do get rid of these boosters.
Well, you should. What, in theory, maybe even half your rank. If you
I've still got a good part
of the bus.
Yeah.
Matt, do you want to go through your team with us?
Yeah, so speaking around the top K, I've been hovering there or thereabouts, had got down nicely about 700 and something fairly recently, then made the decision I'll play aggressively and bring in Salah and Nunes when they were both 50-50 to be playing for the first of a double, and didn't play in either and blanked totally last week. So that has put me down a bit, and also meant I've had to make kind of reactionary transfers rather than getting to where I wanted to be. Watkins isn't in my side, which has turned out to be a bit of a disaster. The other differences compared to what Ben's side he's just been through, I've got Martinez in goal, been happy to have him long term for ages. He's got a double this week and we'll have many doubles to come. He's not going anywhere. And Saka's, I've had to hold him, which I don't mind actually for Sheffield United away for a single. Other than that, still got 11 to come this week, which I don't mind either. So it's not been a great week so far, but second half of the week, I'm hoping for a decent week, to be honest.
Yeah, loads of doublers there. Yeah, you'd be happy with Nunes, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he was one who didn't know going into, and I was down in Port Isaac in Cornwall this weekend, which is where Doc Martin was filmed. I booked the Christmas lunch with my wife. I booked it at a time when we genuinely thought, well, I genuinely thought, didn't tell my wife this, that there would be a early kickoff. TNT didn't pick it. So my immaculately planned very late lunch in a village with virtually no internet signal, and a nice romantic lunch turned into be the absolute worst time because it totally clashed with the deadline, but just got away with it.
I think I heard they were singing at Nunes, "You're just a shit Andy Carroll," just before he scored.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
That is great.
81 points for me. 2,929 total. I went down about 18 places, which I thought this looked like it'd been quite a good week, but real competitive up there. So Ederson in goal, 2 points. Virgil I bought in for a Stupinian. Finally gone. Ended up starting, didn't he? But ended up starting, but he didn't do any good. So I'm happy with bringing Virgil in for the 7. Ake 3 points. Robertson with that corruption clean sheet, 9 points. Saka still to play. Foden, De Bruyne, Gross, the same as all you guys. Watkins 16, Haaland captain 16, and then Alvarez with that assist off the bench. But yeah, I was just a bit shocked to still go down in price, still don't go down in rank. But I think maybe the Dubravka clean sheet or something there. There was quite a few clean sheets, weren't there? About.
Yeah.
You got the same as me, Tony.
Well, we are pretty much the same other than I've got Van Heck and Bradley, and you've got Ake Robertson. We've both hit 81 points. So yeah, not much in it. Ederson, Bradley, Van Heck, Van Dijk, Saka still to play, obviously. De Bruyne, Foden, Gross, Watkins, Alvarez, Haaland. Yeah, very similar. And like you say, I dropped probably 18 places, I think it was. Down to, I think, 171 now. But up on the previous week, during midweek, so I'm happy enough. It's just getting tough. It's getting tough to get above all them other buggers that are listening to the pod.
Congested, isn't it? Congested.
Yeah.
Right, quickly power through these leagues because we've still got the draw to go. Top 3 for the Tonic Cash League. We've got L Giles in 3rd, G Payne in 2nd, and S Pal still at the top of the Tonic Cash League, flying high. And then going to shout out the prize winners for the month of February for the Cash League. So the monthly prizes. Get in touch with us. B McLaren in 3rd, T Gledhill in 2nd, and if anyone knows an Anthony Sutcliffe, he was our winner. So get in touch. Yeah, you can send yourself the money there.
Sorted.
Congratulations, Tony.
Yeah, well done.
Cheers, pal.
He's back. Tony, you want to do the second chance?
Yeah, second chance. The top 3 for the second chance is Tom Gledhill in second S Powell, and top of the shop our very own Baz McCormack, flying high.
Matt, you got that there? Tag teams?
Yeah, how many do you want up from? The top 3?
Top 3, yeah.
Yes, we've got Sean Powell and Hugh John in 3rd. We've got Lewis Wright and Matthew Kent in 2nd. And we've got Barry McCormack and Ben Coles, who are the only ones to the top 3 with a Park the Bus still left, in 1st.
Well done. Ben, Patreon Cash League.
Yeah, we got Buzz in 3rd, Anthony Sutcliffe in 2nd, and Lee Giles 1st.
Attacking.
I'll quickly bash through these Tonic divisions, all 3 of them, so we can get onto the draw. In League 1, G Payne in 3rd, M Warner in 2nd, and L Giles in 1st. In the Tonic Championship, we've got R Driver in 3rd, A Wade in 2nd, and then Anthony Sutcliffe up in 1st. Up the Football League he goes. Tonic Premier, I'm in 3rd. O'Higgins in 2nd and Baz McCormack in 1st.
Top of the shop is Baz.
Obviously, we're well into the season at the moment, so we've not really got any other leagues coming up. But if you do want to become one of our Patreon members, this is all the fun that you can get involved with. We'll probably have something going on for the Euros as well. Euros, yeah, when that comes around.
Of course, we will.
So if you sign up, we'll still have plenty going on in the summer as well. It's time, Tony.
Right, here we go. The Patreon Cup draw. Hopefully everyone's who wanted to be involved has got their names in there. So, right, hold on. So the way it's had to work is we've had 50 entrants. So obviously 50 doesn't go into a cup draw, does it? So we need a final 32. So we've got 18 games, which are going to be called the prelims. So we've got a random number generator that's randomly generated the first 36 numbers. There's going to be 14 buys in this first prelim round. So we're going to run through. Right, let me get it up. Right, can you guys see the random number things I've pasted in to the OneNote?
Yep.
Yep. Can you see them numbers? Right. I need one of you, Scott, if you can see them. I need you to read them numbers to me, and then I will then read out the people that are corresponding to them numbers.
All right, you ready?
Yep, I'm going to scroll up and down, so it might take me like a few seconds each time, but we'll read through the draw. So away you go, mate.
26.
26, that's C. Tobin with Kinder and Buemo.
Woohoo. Next one, yeah?
Yep.
Number 33.
Number 33 is P. Jones with Onana, What's My Name?
47.
47 is Nathan Wisby, the Dream Team King.
46.
Oh, 46 is Tom Gledhill, the Gladiators.
Number 5.
Number 5 is our very own Ben Lee.
Wee.
And he plays
Number 6.
number 6, Jake Bevan. Bevan's 11.
But number 24.
Number 24, C. Patel. Can you kick it?
Number 2.
Plays number 2, Jay McClure. Ange Ball. James.
Ange Ball. Number 22.
Number 22 is Jay Mouse, Jacko United.
36.
Plays 36, R. Camis, Rachel Dino FC.
14.
14 is Ryan Driver.
31.
And Ryan Driver plays D. Dunkley, Nigel.
Number 17.
Number 17 is R. Hunter, Ghost of Terry Munro.
What was that? Sorry, repeat that one.
What's that, sorry?
Could you repeat that one? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, R. Hunter, Ghost of Terry Munro.
Cool. Number 23.
Number 23, and that's Japs Ajax, Baz McCormack.
Then we've got number 44.
Number 44 is S. Powell,
Oh, that's a good draw.
Big clash. Number 10.
Number 10 is S. Morrissey.
Number 19.
Number 19 is Lee Hooper.
Lee Hooper, number 19. Number 9.
Number 9 is P. Harrison.
Number 37.
And number 37 is G. Paul. Real big tits. Deserve to call out.
43.
43 is El Jaws.
Sorry. I think you've read that name totally wrong. You've missed it because I think it's supposed to rhyme with Real Betis. Real Big Tits.
Wow. I didn't do it justice. Yeah. Real big tits.
Real. That was number 43, El Giles. Yeah.
43 El Jaws.
Number 13.
Number 13 is me. Dream Team Tonic Tony.
Whoa.
Oh.
Number 29.
Number 29 is L. Chapman.
Number 20.
Number 20, O. Higgins. Humble Higgins.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Aaron Wade.
Wadey. Number 32.
And number 32 is A. Stringer.
And any stringer. 27.
27 is Jay Payton.
Then we've got 41.
41 is Steve Broughton.
How many buys is there, Tony?
14.
So these are not necessarily facing each other in order. We don't know who's got the buys yet.
Yeah, no. They are facing each other.
Number 12, next.
Number 12 is James Fricker.
Big up, Jones.
Hey.
Number 16.
He plays number 16, G. Payne.
Big match.
Big match, that.
$34.
34 is A. Haynes, Plevna 1.
Number 18.
It's number 18, M. Warner.
got number 50.
Number 50 is Matt Wally.
Whee.
We'll draw this up and send it in the Discord after, because it's hard to follow with all these.
Yeah.
So many here. Number 15.
Number 15 is Eddie Morgan, Eddie's All Stars.
Yeah, we'll check this back, but I've got the pairings one difference. I've got Warner versus Matt Woolley there. We'll check this back after. Number 21. Next.
Number 21. El Manos. I haven't hot a clue.
Number 7.
And number 7 is Choi Choi. Blood on the Tyne.
Yeah, that would work out right, because then this will be the last one. He'll be up against number 40. So what
Which
you got
is
there?
Seth Osborne, Rodri U. Plonker.
Well, I've got a question.
Go on.
Where the hell am I?
Yeah, that's all right. If you're not called out, you're on the bye.
Wait.
Ah.
So
Don't want to be putting Scott through for a buy.
So who got the buys
Forward.
then?
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
That's quite a lot.
12, 13, 14. Right. So that's good. 40 was the last number we landed on, which was Seth Osborne. The numbers that got the buy was 45, which was a buy for W Christmas. 1, which was a buy for J Hannell. 38 and 48, which was Andy Border and H. Weddle. 39, 45, which was Scott Harris and W Christmas. Again, W Christmas. I don't just say W Christmas.
We've had him. Oh yeah, you said 45
Yeah,
twice.
sorry.
That's why you've said 45
Yeah, sorry.
twice. I've got the list here.
Yeah, sorry, 39 and 42, which was Tom Brindley. A. Kirkham and 11, which was Connor Story.
Sorry, was that Connor at 11? Connor number 11.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
number was Kirkham?
42. Then 4 and 25, which is Sean Siddell and L. Doherty.
Number 4 and which one? I'm just jotting these down.
25.
Yep.
And then 28 and 8, which is Scott McKee and Ben Coles.
Mm-hmm.
And then 49 and 30, which is Mike Warlow and Avan Tatler.
That's a lot, is it?
Yeah, I think that's everyone drawn. Obviously, we have to do this preliminary round to trim it down to a round of 32. So all the games that were drawn out will be played this week. The results will be up on the Patreon Cup section of the Discord at the end of this game week, which obviously, let's just check what we're up to. Match center. So game week 27 ends with Brighton and Villa playing midweek next week. So, yep, at the end of that, the results will be calculated, and then we'll go into the final round of 32 for game week 28.
Cool. Who's winning it? Who's your money on? Backing yourselves?
Oh, well, I've had an absolute nightmare in this cup the last 2 years, so I don't fancy myself. I'll probably have a stinker this week and not get through the prelims, but yeah, it's
that was incredible. That was incredible last year, Tony. You were in the top 100 like all season, and then because we played a group stage last year, every time you played somebody, they scored a massive score, and you still had a good score, but you just couldn't beat the score you're playing against, and you ended up going out in the group stages, didn't you?
It was unreal. I didn't actually win one game against something like 5 or 6 opponents, but unbelievable.
So is that?
Sorry,
I think minor advantage to those who are through to the first round proper. Is that the bracket set now, or is there a draw every round, Tony? Or is the bracket now set?
No, the bracket will be set on the next one when we draw the round of 32. Because we have to get these prelims down to get to the set 32. So yeah,
understood.
And then we'll have one end of draw, and you can attack each other then.
Amazing.
Right, should we wrap things up then?
Yeah,
That just about does it for this mammoth episode. 1 hour 47. Cheers for everyone that stuck with it the whole way through. We'll put those draws in the Discord community anyway. If you are interested in becoming a Patreon member, join in the Discord community. There's a link in the description below. And then a last shout out for our Tonic meetup on St. Patrick's Day, 17th of March in Coventry. We'll be having a dream team meetup, going to watch the ice hockey, and watching a bit of football as well.
Get on the Guinness.
Oh yeah, did I see there was a deal on the Guinness as well?
Yeah, £2.99 a pint.
Bosh.
Bosh.
See you all on the next one. Cheers for coming along, Matt, as well.
Cheers,
Always
cheers,
pleasure.
Matt.
See you all there.
See you there.
Bye-bye.
See you, Matt.